I'm gonna say five things like my 5 cents. One, I use my ear to hear. Two,
What do you hear? You hear what? You have to explain what.
I hear sound. The
Noisy.
sound is a human sound. It's a voice. And I use my nose to smell. I smell something plastic. Like your phone. I use my eyes to see a gallon. I use my hand to touch. Like I'm touching my book.
How does it feel? How does this feel?
The texture is smooth.
Smooth?
Yes. I use my mouth to taste. Right now I taste my own spits.
Okay.
I'm done.
Alright, thank you.
Today I'm gonna show you my 5 senses. Number one, I use my ear to hear. Like I hear music and stuff.
Okay.
Two, I use my nose to smell. Like smelling the good stuff, the bad stuff, it's just random. Number three, I use my eye to see. Like I see friends, I see my class, I see bugs, and other stuff. Number four, I use my hand to touch. Touching this, my mouth. I use my mouth to taste. Like
Your tongue, you mean?
Your tongue. Tongue. Like
I'm from High Five High School in Aldana, and I use my ears to hear, I use my nose to smell, I use my eyes to see, I use my hands to touch, and I use my mouth to taste. That's all from me. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
I use my nose to smell, I use my eyes to see, I use my hands to touch, I use my mouth to taste.
Okay.
My name is Anya. I'm from 6 Bima Sakti. This is my 5 cents. One, I use my ears to hear. I use
Hear what?
hear music and my friend's voice, obviously. And I use my nose to smell, like smell food, smell flower. And I use my eyes to see, like I see these cups.
Okay.
And I use my hand to touch. I use my mouth to taste. Yeah.
Okay.
Aiman from 5 Callisto. First off, I use my ears to hear. I use my nose to smell. I use my eyes to see. I use my hand to touch. I use my mouth to taste. Bye bye guys.
My name is Chila. I'm from 5 Bima. Today I want to talk about my 5 things. One, I use my ears to hear someone talking. Two, I use my nose to smell a food. Three, I use my eyes to see someone or my family. I use my hand to touch my book. I use my mouth to taste the food.
I use my ears to hear sound. I use my nose to smell food. 3. I use my eyes to see people. 4. I use my hand to touch food. 5. I use my mouth to taste hamburger. And I'm from 6 Central. Number 1. I use my ear to hear someone scream. 2. I use my nose to smell the trash. Number 3. I use my eyes to see the world. Number 4. I use my hand to touch toys. Number 5. I use my mouth to taste the mac and cheese. I use my nose to eyes to see everything, and I use my hand to touch things around, and I use my mouth to talk or taste something.
Okay.
I use my ears to hear everything around me, and I use my nose to smell, and I use my movie, and I use
A gunshot. I use my nose to smell a burnt chicken. I use my eyes to see a school shooter. And I use my hand to shoot kids with a minigun. And I use my mouth to taste blood.
What?
I use my nose to smell. I use my eyes to see. I use my hand to touch. My nose to smell my food. I use my eyes to see my video game. I use my hand to touch my animal. I use my mouth to taste my
I used to hear the smoke detector. I use my nose to smell flowers. I use my eyes to see the world. I use my hand to touch the pencil. I use my tongue to taste food.
Okay.
My ear to hear people talk. I use my nose to smell smell food. And I use my eyes to see all around me. And I use my hand to touch objects, and I use my tongue to taste food.
Okay.
I use my ear to hear. I use my nose to smell. I use my eye to see. I use my hand to grab something. I use my mouth to eat. I use my nose to smell. I use my eyes to see. I use my hand to touch.
to hear. This I use my ears to hear things. I use my nose to smell flowers. I use my eyes to see gold. I use my hand to touch nature, to touch grass, to eat foods.
Here,
I use my eyes
eyes
to.
to see.
Okay. I use my nose
My nose to
smell.
smell.
I use my tongue
tongue
to
to
taste.
taste.
That's it.
Yes.
Thank you.